Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on the Flash Season 6. So firstly, I just have to say sorry for a bit of a, lack of videos of lately, just a bit of a break of sorts, if you want to call it. I actually was moving. Some of you guys would have known this. I mentioned like maybe 2 or 3 videos over the past, like maybe fortnight, 2 weeks or something like that. So some of you would have known that I was moving. I finally settled in for the most part now, so I can actually return to making new videos. So it should be all good from now on, hopefully. Before I actually go off again, head off to Comic-Con, which will once again cause a bit of a disturbance. But anyway, as I was moving, the Flash actually started filming for season, what are we up to? Season 6, obviously, which is quite exciting. Now, they did a few days of like indoor filming stuff. We did know that I think it was like maybe like exactly a week ago, maybe like 6 days ago, they started filming episode 1. But as I did say, I think in a video a couple of like maybe a week ago exactly as well, they do usually start off with indoor stuff just to get like any conks and just like just any dust that's settled, you know what I mean, just to get into the swing of things and not start off with like a hectic outdoor scene. They'll probably just start with an indoor scene just to get the ball rolling and get into the groove of things. But I think it was on that first day of filming that we actually found out that episode 1 would be called Into the Void. Now, we knew that episode 2 was called A Flash of the Lightning because Grant Gustin decided to reveal that. We did find out that episode 1 was called Into the Void. We knew that a word at the end, like the last word, started with V because of the Daniel Pennebaker whole script see-through thing. We knew that that was the case. A lot of us thought it was Vibe, but obviously it's Void, so Into the Void. Now, I think I was the first person to post that online due to basically everyone else that I saw posting that, script cover using my photo that I put on Twitter. And I know that because I added that little like breaking news emoji thing just to see how many people would just use my photo. So I actually was surprised by how many, people actually did do that. But in regards to this, like, Into the Void thing, like, what could that mean? Like, what does that, that title have any meaning? Does it have any connection to the comics or anything like that? And, like, the Void is just, like, it can be seen as, like, a couple of things. Like, in the comics, I think it's like, it's a part of, like, the DC, like, universe in regards to, like, the universe in the DC universe, if that makes sense. So, somewhere in the solar system, like, it's just a space of existence. I'm just going off the top of my head here, but also I think the Void is also a term. There's a couple of terms, but I think the Void is also a term used for like a blank space in a comic book, whether it be between panels or just like a blank space on a page. So maybe that's what they're going for. Another thing that is obvious and we should be thinking about it is that it could maybe mean like something to do with the start of Crisis on Infinite Earths, because we know the Monitor is going to be in at least episode 2, but he could also be in episode 1 because he did say that he was going to start filming Crisis stuff, I think the day before the Flash started. So he could have been filming on Supergirl, or maybe he was filming something specifically for the Flash, but just by himself. So maybe he's in episode 1 as well as being in episode 2, which he most likely would, due to episodes 2 titles literally being something from Crisis. Now, Into the Void could also mean like something in regards to change, because we obviously know that the timeline is going to be changing in some facet and some aspect, might I say, because of what happened last season with like the dagger being destroyed and Nora no longer existing, so we can expect some other stuff to happen as well. So maybe it could mean something along those lines. But as I said, the Flash started filming and we did get our first little like public sort of thing. So they did do like a little like a little one, basically a little public filming thing. We got some set photos from Canada Graph, so we'll leave his link in the description down below to check out all the photos information, as we will only go over a bit of it, so check out that link in the description. Now, the scene in question had Barry Allen, Joe West, Caitlin Snow, Iris West, Cecile Horton, Camilla Huang was there as well as our boy Cisco. We knew he was in episode 1. We don't really know about going forward what his role is in the season, but he was there. And they were all shooting a scene in the backyard, which, as I said, is like a whole family barbecue thing. Now, the only thing like of real interest, I guess, like obviously a family barbecue is probably just going to be like an easy thing just to either start off the season, or maybe it's in the middle of the episode, or maybe like a third of the way through the episode. But the only really interesting thing here is that there was like a sound effect that usually is used to simulate the Flash running off. So obviously at this point in this scene, the Barry has to run off and do something, whether it be to go take down a villain, or it could be one of those comical scenes where they have run out of like beer or soda or something like that, and he has to run off and get it. So it could be something along those lines. We really don't know. One thing that I did notice in these photos is that I think it's Joe and Cecile. It's hard to tell if it's Cecile or Iris because it's only from the back, and these two characters pretty much are the same height and have the same hair, so it's hard to tell. I'm going to say it's Joe and Cecile though. It looks like they've gone on a holiday because they're both wearing hats and stuff like that. I know it's a weird observation, but I'm guessing that will be something in this episode. The Giant Cecile have maybe they got married in the off season and they went on a honeymoon, or maybe because of Joe's promotion they got a bit of a treat. I don't know. But as I was saying before about Cisco, I don't necessarily know what his role is going to be in this season because of, his loss of powers. He's going to go back to like a season 1 role where he's just basically the engineer. But then we've got that new information that they're casting basically a new engineers type or scientist type character. It's sort of confusing, but with Camilla, you think that she's going to be a major player this season, or at least a major player in Iris's story because of her, connections to the newspaper and what they're doing there. So it's almost like a watch this space situation with that whole thing, because it's hard to tell. Like, he could be in the whole season, he could be in episode 1, then go on a break. We'll have to wait and see. But one interesting thing that happened was a conversation that Canada Graphs actually had with Grant Gustin about the season 6 suit. Now, Canada Graphs asked Grant about his costume for the season, and he actually confirmed that there will be a chin strap / cowl for and I quote, the army of haters out there for the season 5 suit. Now, as you would have known if you watched my videos on season 5, I was very hit and miss with the suit. Like, in some episodes and some shots, it looked good. Like, it looked like a solid suit, and then some it looked terrible. So it was just one of those hit and miss ones, depending on the angle of what they were shooting, or what scenes they were shooting with that suit. But then Canada Graphs also asked him straight up if he was getting a new suit, and he said, yeah, it's mostly the same though. Then he was asked specifically about the chin strap and the whole cowl situation, and he said that there will be a chin strap on the cowl this season. So overall thoughts, not a surprise. There was so much backlash, and Grant saw that. Like, Grant copped it on social media, and it's not fair that he did, but you're going to get that. And even if it wasn't just like, because some people were just like straight up bullying him and saying that he couldn't he couldn't deal with it because I think I saw a lot of people saying that his jaw, like his jawline and stuff, wasn't strong enough. But I think the design of that helmet was never going to work with anyone, and just the way it was and how like the suit lined up with it was never going to work with anyone. But I guess the big question is, like, is this suit literally just going to be the season 5 suit, but with a chin strap cowl, or are they going to make some alterations to the top half where it connects a bit better with the chin strap and everything like that? Because personally, I think the body of the suit is pretty good. Like, it could have some more detailing, some more yellow and stuff, because it is very plain red, especially towards the top. But I think overall it's a good Flash costume, or Flash suit, might I say. It just needs some work on that helmet piece, because that bike helmet thing we had last year wasn't very good. Now, one thing that was pretty interesting that came online was, I think it was Grant posting his script and like them at the table read for episodes 1 and 2, and he just put the caption like season 6 or something like that. And then Tom Felton, who of course played Julian Albert back in season 3, went any word on Julian, and Grant Gustin replied yes. Now, Julian was like a favorite character, a fan favorite character in season 3. However, I understand why he didn't continue on the show. Like, they wanted him to continue, but I think Tom Felton, I think the role, or like the timing, like the amount of time that Julian would have on the show, Tom Felton had a better offer, I think, for that first bit, and he still wanted to be on the Flash, but I think he couldn't be in like one episode towards the beginning of the season, so they had to drop him. Like, it was something like, it was I think from memory it was pretty harsh, but they had to drop him just because of how they wanted to go about things. But ever since he left the show, people have been wondering when is he going to come back, because his exit felt like really weird. Like, they just said, oh, like he was brought up once, like Julian Albert, oh, he's in London. Like, that was it. So I would like to see him come back, because I think the chemistry between him and Grant was pretty cool. And I would also like to see Julian interact with Ralph. I think Julian interacting with Ralph would be pretty interesting. Look, it could be it could be a train wreck, but I think it could also be funny, like some solid banter between those two. I think that'd be a pretty interesting watch. Now, a lot of people have been asking me ever since these set photos came out, is like, when should we start getting, the quote-unquote good photos? Like, when are those going to start coming out? And I guess that all really depends on the context and all of that for episode 1, like what actually happens in that episode. Like, everything done outside could be, similar to this, like, whole family barbecue in a backyard, and all the good action stuff, and I guess, like, spoilery stuff, if you want to call it, could be done in like really private areas, so like in alleys or even in like buildings, or it could all be done in studio. Like, it could all be done there. We will have episode 1 and 2 filmed before Comic-Con. Now, the trailer for Comic-Con will probably just have episode 1 stuff in it, maybe a bit of episode 2, but I wouldn't expect episode 2 stuff in there, to be completely honest. So maybe episode 2 could be the time that we get some good stuff in regards to public filming, but we still have a few days left of episode 1 filming, because they took a break for like 4th of July and some stuff like that. So fingers crossed that we maybe get the Flash suit revealed. I think we are just expecting the season 5 suit with a chin strap, but it would still be cool to see. But just to see it would be good, just so we know what we're dealing with. But I think if the public suit reveal is positive, then we won't get something from like we did last season, where the suit leaked and then we got that official promo poster, which, you know, showcased the suit, or the quote unquote finished suit and more detailed suit that they posted. Look, they might post it if they are going to start filming in public with it. Maybe they wanted to give it like a more you know, more professional shot, like they did with the Kid Flash suit. If you remember back in season 3 when they were about to start filming Kid Flash stuff, they put the Kid Flash official photo out. So they might do something similar with the season 6 suit, but that's all for us to wait and see. But I think Canada Grass also asked Danielle Panabaker, sorry, about Killer Frost's new suit, and she teased that I think she's worn it and that we should be looking forward to something pretty cool. And as we've heard through those potential leaks, that this suit that Killer Frost has for season 6 is arguably one of the best in the Arrowverse. I think they said the most detailed, and one of the more detailed, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry this video was a bit rusty, as you know. I haven't done a video in a while, so sorry about that. But if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.